Man. All right. What is up? Yeah. 0 people in here, so I'll put some chapstick on. Um, just gonna hang out for a minute. Oh, there we go. We got somebody. How's it going out there in YouTube land today? All right. So, I tend to do this. What up, Chris? How you doing, man? So I end up tending to do a live stream. It seems like every time I hear something crazy about the plumbing world, right? Somebody gives me some kind of a number or something, and I'm like, man, that is just ridiculous. So I have been meaning to. I was actually meaning to put out a video today, but I couldn't quite get to it, man. I've been smoking tired, dude. I had a big job on Saturday that I really wasn't planning on getting into. I was kicking it with the kids, hanging out, and my neighbor had a big issue. So, and it had been going on for years, apparently, that they had this sewage running down their pipe on the outside, and it was an old copper drain waste and vent, and eventually it just rotted the pipe out. And so on one side, the pipe was just so paper thin. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen copper like get really, really thin like that, but you could just grab it and crush it and break it apart. And it was crazy, man. So I looked at it. I was going to just fix it, make a repair. If I could have just got onto the copper, it would have been great. That didn't happen. All right. So as I wiped it down, I seen the whole pipe was cracked. Like, oh man, it's all got to come out. And so that was a process, about a 7-hour job. Well, in between that, because I'm like, hey, if it's an easy fix, I'll do it. I'll help you guys out. If it's not an easy fix, you might call somebody. Well, they called somebody, man. And let me tell you, $65 every 15 minutes is what the plumber was charging. That was their pricing. All right. So I don't know if it's due to COVID or what, but the online like free estimates now, right? And that's just kind of what they basically told them. Oh, this is your issue going on. Okay. It does take a while, right? It is a big job. And I probably would have bid it had I had a company and all that stuff. I'd have bid it for over $1,000 for sure, because I know that it was going to take at least 8 hours, man. I mean, sometimes it just takes all day. You get lucky and sometimes not. And I mean, you'll see, I'll show you some things in the video. When the video comes out, you'll see that there's a lot of just crazy with this thing, man. It just would not come out. I mean, I'm beating on it and sawing on it, and I just couldn't get this fitting out of there. And once I did, it was good, and it was all downhill from there, right? You know, that feeling of relief when you finally know you got something, right? So other than that, like, I mean, man, I've just been working, dude. I really been wanting to get the boat out. And one of my buddies that has the exact same boat as me was like, hey, you want to go fishing this weekend? And of course I want to say yes, man, but there's always so much going on. And then you throw the kids into the factor, right? So I don't know, maybe I'd try to get the little Loadster out and get them fishing this weekend. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to get out and check it out. So other than that, what's everybody else been up to, man? Like, what's going on out there in the world? I'm it's always something here. You can see I've just been so bad. I haven't even shaved, just been scruffy and scrapped out. Like, I'm just tired. Of course, work's always wild, man. One of my biggest things, I just want to know what the norm is. right? Like I talked to one of my buddies and plumbing wise, and he really is one of the, I guess, the few plumbers that I talk to, especially in this area around here. And dude was telling me, I mean, he's had to raise his prices due to the price of plastics going up, right? So ABS and stuff, the prices have went up as well as plywood and all the other woods, man. And dude, that's a whole nother market right now that's just insane. I guess everything's going crazy, right? Um, I don't know, man. It all seems just kind of wild to me. I mean, I understand that people have to make money. I do, man. But whew, dude, you're looking at really a sweet 260 an hour is whew, crazy. Installing electrical wire around the fence today. Oh, nice. Keep your evil chickens in, dude. Oh no, that's good, dude. I oh man, one of my favorite things about that electrical wire, man, electrical fence, dude. I mean, my grandpa used to have some in the back of his house a long time ago, and I remember my cousin hitting that one time, just walking through the yard with a bowl of cereal, dude. You never seen so much just flying everywhere. It's so hard not to laugh, right? I mean, we laugh about it now, and it's totally good. Um, it's fun. Um, dude, I kind of just want to tell you guys about that big crazy job that's rolling. Um, but it's done now, and they just have a lot of cleanup because, like I said, it had been years. Like you could tell it was years. One, because the pipe eroded the way that it did by that sludge just kind of setting on there and setting in there. I mean, that's what, you know, pipe will do over time is just erode out if it's setting flat or if something's built up on it that way. Um, and then the amount of mold in their walls, man, and stuff it was gnarly. Like it really is pretty bad. You'll see some of these crazy things and the amount of lead they put in this joint, right? So typically, like when you do a lead joint, you're like putting, you know, like that much lead in it, like an inch maybe. And I mean, people don't really do lead joints anymore. At some point, if I can get an old lead ladle and stuff, I probably will do some just to show you guys. I'll probably do a couple videos on them just because I mean, it is in some way it is fun. I mean, I don't think that huffing lead fumes is fun, but I mean, you know, doing some old school plumbing technique is pretty cool. Um, and these guys, instead of that 1 inch, they seriously poured it like the whole bell, like really, it's like 2.5 inches worth of lead. And so I'm trying to drill and trying to get it to pry it out. Like if you've watched any of the other stuff where I usually just try to pry lead out, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't pry it. I'm like, well, all right, dude. I actually just kind of said no, done. Good to roll. So once I got it out and just a long day. It's funny because I'm still recovering a couple days later, right? When you're on your knees working and bending over something for hours on end, like you just feel it. Like your body is not, my body's not used to that, right? I do more moving around these days at work than I ever had done, like staying in one little place, focused on one little thing. So it was pretty hard that way. Another thing is, so a little while back, a company reached out to me, Tubrella, and I've got everybody's comments. I've got the video shot. I just need to edit it and put it all together. I'm at this point now where I got a lot of video. I got hours and hours and hours worth of video to edit. And I was talking to Stony Ridge the other day. He's like, you just need to get to editing, dude. All right, like stop whining about it. Just freaking do it. Like, I don't know, man. There's only so much Diet Dr. Pepper a guy can drink. I gotta sleep. Um, I don't know. Other than that, fam's chilling. My wife and my son. So we have this big area out back. I wish I was on my phone because I'd take you outside and show you this. So our backyard, we have this big pine tree in the back, and hopefully, when my brother comes back from Antarctica, we'll be able to build my son a tree house in that back tree. As long as they could have cost me freaking $10,000 to do it, right? But we wanted to make it like a woodsy feel in that very back area. We want to build a fire pit. Like I was going to try my hand at building a smokeless fire pit and seeing how that rolls. My wife and my son ended up hand digging out all of that grass, man, and it was a feat. I know that because I've tried to do it a couple times. I'm like, oh man, this is just tedious work. But she got out there and she rock and rolled, man, like old school pioneer style, dude. She just crushed it. And my kid, he was really awesome and really into it as well. And just out there hoeing away, dude. It's pretty awesome. So that'll be something that's going to come out here at some point, and I don't know. We're gonna do some different landscaping stuff back there, and that'll be fun. It's going to be fun. I think that a lot of work is fun. Just it is what it is. What else, man? I don't know. I don't know what else. We've thanks to the 3 or 4 people that are in here. Angry Rooster. What up, dude? How's it going? I don't know. We've been getting a lot of, I don't know. Let's talk YouTube for a minute. So we've been getting a lot of views on hose bib stuff lately, right? Because it's spring. I know people are working on these things. I tried to look the other day for an old one because I wanted to tear it apart. People were asking some questions. Like I said, I always love answering questions and hooking people up. We just passed 1 million views. Like that was pretty awesome, I think. I'm excited about that. And so I've just been, I don't know, really enjoying all that stuff. I love helping people, man. I love when people send in questions and I, get to interact a little bit and just answer things. I've been watching some other people's live streams, and I think that I want to find like My Cluttered Garage. That dude's got an awesome live stream set up, right? Where he interviews somebody else from their house. You can do a 2 different setup thing. And I would like that. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to get, my friend Josh in here. I think it'd be nice to interview some other YouTubers. I think I'd like to get some DIY dudes and just have some conversations. Invite some not customers. I invite some viewers in, right? Invite some viewers to come in and show some kind of issue they're having. And maybe we can walk them through it on this or, just something. Just something to work that way. Like I dig it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Look, the other thing is it's so stinking hard sometimes when you factor in the kids, you factor in a full-time job and then YouTube. Like, I don't want to say that I hit a wall at some point here recently, but I was like, man, I just need to walk away, like stop for a minute and just take a break and hang out and maybe sleep. And, it just kind of catches up with you. And I mean, you can't freaking sustain a high, heavy pace all the time without freaking collapsing once in a while, I guess. Right. And it's just nice. And, and then it's hard with working on the weekends sometimes at work and all that jazz, man. I'm not trying to complain either, right? Because that's not it. I just explain to you guys what's going on. I've learned a new sentence. One of my friends like, hey, dude, you just need to learn the word no as well, right? because I'm one of those peeps, man. When somebody asks for the help, man, I love it and I want to help. And if I have the skill set and the time, well, then I'm obviously going to help, right? Because that's just what you do. At least in my opinion, that's what I do. And my friend kind of said it as he's like, look, dude, you need to learn how to say no, and no being the complete sentence. All right. Just if you could just say no, it'd be great. You don't need to give an explanation. Just say no, and that's that. Well, you're probably right. I probably should just a little bit more, but I don't know. We'll get there, I think. Um, Heck, let's see what else. I have been talking with a friend of mine. She, my wife's friend mainly, but like I've chatted with her quite a bit. She's very friendly. She's awesome. Um, it's hard to tell them when you're absolutely right, Chris. It's so hard to tell somebody no when you know how to do the job, right? Like, and that, and if I think that YouTube is going to like it, and I think that somebody's going to find value in it, well, then I typically will do it, right? Like, I mean, there's a lot of things that I do that I don't record too, but if I find some kind of value in it, well, then I'm going to do it. Like, I don't know. I think it's a good learning thing. Um, so a friend of ours, she is a teacher at a charter school, and a little while back, I had a student of hers. She asked me if a student of hers could interview me because he was thinking about becoming a plumber, and I said, "Man, that's awesome. What up, Isaiah? How you doing?" Oi. So with that, I was actually really stoked, man, because this kid was a freshman. And I'm like, you're a freshman and you're already thinking about becoming a plumber. That's awesome, right? Because you don't really hear those things these days. At least, if you're out in Facebook and YouTube, you see a lot of those things, and people aren't becoming this, right? Well, it was nice to see this. And that's not the only student that she has that is becoming a plumber. So there's another one, I think, that's a senior this year, and I wanted to hook him up. I wanted to hook him up with some tools, and like just like give him kind of a good warm welcome, right? Into plumbing, and find out what kind of tools he has, and give him some like some tried, tested, and true tools that I like, that I use all the time, and see what really interests him about plumbing. And so we'll have to figure it out, talk with his parents, see how we can make that happen. But that's going to come at some point too, which I'm really stoked about, man. Because, I just like that people are actually getting into trade still, that people want to do this. I mean, man, there is really something to be said about working with your hands. It's like Josh always tells me, like, there's something about getting back to the land, Brian. He's like, at some point you're going to get back to the land. And he's probably right. At some point I will. Just because I do like working with my hands, and you see these things going on. Like, I watch Josh's stuff all the time, man. And it's like looking at a playground almost, right? Like all these tractors and equipment and things that I've never touched before. I'm like, oh man, I want to go jump on that tractor. I want to be digging that ditch, right? I want to be doing that. And I mean, I know it's work, but it's relative to your mindset too, right? What is work? Like, is that what you enjoy doing? And so I just need time to do it, right? That's all, just time. And we'll find it. And at some point we're going to find it. I actually have this, I was shooting something about this Tubrella not so long ago. He's doing a couple things with it. And my wife was like, I cleaned it all up and brought it to my office and stuff. My wife's like, I was wondering where that thing went. She's like, you might be having some hair go down the drain because you took that away right now. I said, well, as long as it's not too much, we're all right. I can live with a few strands, man. Yeah. So, well, I don't know, man. I think it's just me and you, Chris. 19 minutes of live stream, and there's two of us. Dude, you know what? I mean, thanks for Thanks for being my moderator, dude. I appreciate it. See, this is another one of those times, dude, where I wish that I had that panel, right, of people. You could just be in here too, and then we could just be chatting back and forth and talking while somebody else is coming in and out. And at least then you're not sitting here and talking to you guys through the keyboard, I guess. I don't know, man. It's good. Well, definitely plenty more stuff coming out, right? I'm always trying to just do things to help people, man. We'll get it figured out. I was gonna reach out to my cluttered garage and see how he did that thing, because at one point he had like a Brady Bunch panel going, dude, and they were all talking about tractors and tools and stuff. And I'm like, I like it. Like, I really think that was a cool get together of just dudes sitting around chatting that way. And I totally would dig it. Oh, dude, it's all right. You're typing fast, in my opinion, dude. All right. So that was it, man. I guess, I was hoping I'd get some questions and some interaction on this. And I just wanted to know, like, if, somebody's had to call a plumber recently, like, what was their experience like? Because I mean, my neighbor, they were not impressed. And then I just felt horrible for him about that crazy interaction. I mean, $65 every 15 minutes, man, is a wild thing. But let's talk about that for just 1 second, because that is a very interesting business model, right? If you're charging every 15 minutes. At one point, when I first started my plumbing business, before I sold it a few years ago, I actually had the thought of charging by the minute, right? And just saying, hey, like, I mean, getting it down and just trying to save you money. Like, I'll literally go to the minute and see how that would work, right? And if I told myself that I charge $120 an hour, well, then obviously like $2 a minute, and just go with that and see how that would work. But I mean, I quickly just got away from it. I think something about those low numbers just really throws people off too, right? Where you might think, oh, well, $65 for 15 minutes. The second you go to that low denominator, I think, in somebody's mind, the lower the number amount of time, you're like, oh, and the price, you're like, nah, I don't think so. That doesn't appeal to a lot of people, in my opinion. I know it didn't appeal to me, because that was the first thing that my neighbor had said too. She's like, oh man, it was like $65 every 15 minutes. I'm like, what? Like, oh man, I think I would take the $260 an hour, or whatever it is, a little bit better. I mean, it's still crazy, but whatever, man. Whatever. All right. Well, it's been, I guess, 23 minutes, almost a half hour. I'm just chilling. I'm actually going to get back to work. I was thinking I was going to shoot a video. I was helping the other subscriber out the other day with how to pull that toilet plunger out, which is a weird thing, but I'm like, you know what? I'll totally hook this up and shoot a video. Well, I noticed something else a little funky while I was doing that. I'm like, okay, I need to address this. So, gross video coming out soon. Just FYI. All right. A little bit funky. I'm like, oh, that's not flying with me. But it's a weird thing, because I never really noticed it until I started using that plunger. And I'm like, huh. All right, let's get this hooked up. So, well, thank you guys. I know it's a Tuesday night, and I know it's somewhat oh dude, crazy funny that it got stuck. I don't even know how. I don't know how you get it stuck. Really? I mean, I tried and I was twisting around, and that's the only way I could see, is if you're kind of pulling it up a little bit. That was the only thing to me that seemed like it would That was the only way it seemed like it would get stuck. But dude, I was kind of laughing at myself. I'm like, am I really going to shoot a video about how to unstick a plunger? Because that's the only kind of plunger ever that's going to get stuck, right? No other plunger in the world is ever going to get stuck in a toilet because none are that way, right? I got my 305 Home Depot hand snake. Oh, no. Like a snake, you can easily get stuck in there, dude. Absolutely. Right. But it's not, it's pretty rare that you go. Yeah, it's a DE clog. But you know what's funny is surprisingly enough, that video, I've actually had a little bit of uptick on that video, and people like that plunger, man. Like I had a dude buy it, and he's like, he's like, I have to wonder if that squeegee, because it says it's a squeegee too, right? And like I'm trying to squeegee, it didn't make sense to me. But the dude's like, you know what? He's like, if it's gonna squeegee this way that I'm thinking and clearing the throat of a toilet, because there are times, right? Certain toilets, and this I found this to be very true. Certain toilets are not glazed through the whole throat of the toilet. So through that whole internal P trap, they're not glazed. All right. And with that being the case, you just get buildup, like literally poop and whatever just gets built up over time. And it just makes that hole smaller and smaller and smaller. So your toilet will tend to flush a little bit slower. So this dude was saying, he's like, you know what? He's like, I think when they mean squeegee is that I could put that in there and I can clean all that nasty out inside there and get it hooked up. And I said, huh, that actually makes awesome sense, dude. Like, totally makes great sense. And I wrote him back after he had sent the comments and said he bought one based on this and he was going to try it out. And he said it worked out awesome. So I was like, well, that's really cool. Now, my mom had asked me, because she's like, should I buy one of these plungers instead of the one I have? I'm like, honestly, if it's me, I'm probably buying a beehive, a Corky beehive. Because those things, man, I mean, they clear clogs. Like it's pretty, I think it's pretty rare that it's not going to clear the toilet clog if you have a beehive. Because I mean, the amount of push that comes out of that from that hydrostatic pressure it's awesome, dude. Those things are good. Oh, so you got it stuck. You got it stuck in the cast iron pipe. Oh yeah, dude. No, I have definitely got enough steaks stuck in drains, dude, and that's not fun, dude. Yeah, there's times where it is not fun. There may or may not have been an Air Force base somewhere that still probably has a whole 50-foot cable of half inch in it somewhere. I'm pretty sure that we lost it down there, or we had to. I don't remember if it got stuck and we just left it or it fell off in it, something, but it happened and it stayed, dude. We just kind of put the clean out lid back on and went about our way, dude. So like, well, another time, somebody will get it eventually. Yeah, you have to look at it that way sometimes. No, you look at it that way when you're like 20, right? That's it. You're 20 and you don't care. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want it to be the next guy's issue, but man, that's just what it is sometimes. I mean, and just the other part of that, right? So depending on what line it is, I mean, like for us, that was in the ground, right? So I mean, the next thing you know, to get that out, well, we're going to get backhoes. We're going to have to get the dirt boys, and then we're going to have to bust up some pipe and cut out some pipe to get this thing out and just make this humongous job. And I was like, well, I think it might only been a storm drain anyways. It's like, hell, let's rock and roll. Oh, Muse and Spews. $5 super chat. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. I mean, yeah, I I don't ever ask for these things 'cause I don't even know what is going on with some of this stuff. But I do appreciate it, man. We're just trying to help people, and I'm glad that we're doing that. I'm glad that this is actually working. And you know, it really, like I've told you guys a million times, you ever have anything, feel free to reach out. If I can't help you, I promise I'll tell you I can't help you. But if I can, well, and I do, well, then that's awesome, dude. Like I really appreciate it. That's where I find the most satisfaction to me, right? Is just being able to help people fix their own stuff. Um, I had a buddy not so long ago too. It was pretty awesome. Reach out to me that I hadn't talked to, and probably he described it best, a couple decades. Right? Like we hadn't talked. Man, I probably hadn't talked to that dude really since I probably was 16. I bet it was around that time. Thinking about it, honestly, last time I talked to him probably was when his brother died. Um, and he's like, "Hey, man, I love that you're doing those videos." It's like they're legit, man. It's like you're really, you hook it up, you help people out, and it's fun. And I find it fun. I really enjoy it. I'm glad that other people are enjoying it. I hope that it gets better, man. Like, really, I look at some of my things. Like, I've gone back and watched some old videos recently, just because I'm getting my taxes and everything put together, and just trying to remember some things. And I can tell you, like, it's so crazy. Like, looking back on some of those things and going, "Oh man, like, what were you thinking, dude?" I, you can do that way better now, right? And so that's good that way. Um, I've been debating about like bumping up I guess my video editing game too. Like I've been debating whether to get some different software and try some different things. I think it's really I just use Windows or iMovie. And it's not really, there's not a lot of stuff in it. It's pretty basic. Um, I like Mac stuff. I find it very easy to use, and it's very compatible. I shoot most of my stuff with my iPhone, and I've really been digging that. Like it just works well. The camera quality is awesome. And hello, my mother. My mother is in the house. How you doing, Mom? It's good. It's always good. My mom's so supportive of all this stuff, man. She's always hooking me up. She hooked me up with that caulking tool a little while back. Man, that bathroom it's another one of those things. Now, I guess now that I'm in here and we got some peeps in here, now we can start talking about a couple of these things too. Like I was just fixing to leave, and I've thought about it. I've been actually talked to you guys in so long, and there's so many little things. That freaking bathroom that had that crazy mold, that was ridiculous. Like, that bathroom was probably like my arch nemesis. I still got footage. I still got things to edit to put together for that. But man, I was over there so much and just trying to deal with so many things, and the painted tub, the painted tile, like I'm just pulling my hair out with it. And I'm like, I told my wife at one point, I'm like, this is the job that never ends. Like, and and so I bartered this job too, right? Like, um, one of my friends is a patent attorney and was like, "Hey, man, you need to put a friggin' trademark on that fix it guy stuff." And I said, "You should do it. You should do it while it's young." And I said, "Well." And I just thought about it and said, all right, well, let's just, if he's willing to trade his time and my time, well, then I'm willing to do a couple little things for him. And so I did that. I'm like, oh man, like these little things. In the shower, I was like, I wasn't even going to, I just wanted to do it to show people, man. Like it was like an Art Deco scene. It was like white tub, white surround, crazy black caulk. I'm like, dude. I, you can definitely see the difference when it's done right, and that's such a good thing. I'm doing good, Mom. I'm tired, but you know I'm always tired. I got two rambunctious kids that, man, they're just rocking and rolling, but they're out right now. All right, they're doing a photo shoot at the botanical gardens, so that's good. It's allowing me to sit here and chat with you fine folks, and I like it. I like it. Um, what else is new? What else? Man, I do got some cool tool reviews coming out too. So this just reminds me because I have a couple of tools sitting here right now. I've been using this bad boy on a few different projects lately. I just bought this at Harbor Freight, but I'm going to tell you, like, this is just, I've been setting this up on my desk in my office and just using this little vise. It's a little small 2-inch vise. I guess 2.5-inch vise, but it is a cool little vise, man. Swivels a bunch of different ways, locks onto a table. I was able to take it outside over another guy's house while I was shooting some video, helping him out. And so I've just been finding that very useful. Working good. Oh yeah, dude. It actually is working good. Like that. It hasn't been an issue at all yet. Right. I mean, some things from Harbor Freight I'm not a fan of, but there's a couple of things and I like, and you'll see in my video, like in a couple of videos coming out, like one of my favorite screwdrivers, I kind of use as a chisel too. I finally broke it. It's taken me a long time to break one of those off. Like I said, it's because that lead inside that joint was so deep, man. I'm trying to pry and pry and pry, and I just snapped it. I mean, it just snapped the tip off, right? So it's not like it broke it at a strong point of the screwdriver, but it still sucks. I still got to go buy a new set now, and I will because I really like those things, and I actually may just have an extra one because I've owned a couple over the years, right? And, here's another thing I just bought. Well, no, I've actually had it for probably a month or two. So my thing with tool reviews, right, is I want to, if I'm going to review something, I want to show it for a little bit, right? And so I'll have a tool review coming out on these Rex Betty Allen wrenches. Pretty cool, man. Like they were highly rated on Amazon. And as I looked around, like I've used the Bond House, I've there's a bunch of different really nice brands that are definitely a little more expensive, but this whole kit came with something to kind of turn this into a T handle as well. And I was like, man, I like that because I like T handles and I use them at work from time to time. But a lot of times in plumbing, you can't do that, but you want that extra little torque. So I am going to be hooking that up too. That's going to come out here in a little bit and, just trying things and doing things and freaking the truck, man. I need to drive the truck more. I need to get the truck moving and shaking here. I need to get the oil changed. I'm so bad about some of these things, right? You get so busy and I need to get some ramps. I need to change the oil. I need to change all the fluids. And I'm just debating on taking it up to freaking Oil Can Harry's and letting them just do it all. Because then at least I know it's done and I can start driving it around. I was a Craftsman guy for a long time, but others are stepping up their game. Yeah, you know what? Like I have a little Craftsman one out in my shop that I do like. I bought it from a guy used, old school, little small vise, but it is really cool. It just doesn't swivel the way this does. And honestly, I was looking for something really cheap and as something that was going to clamp onto a tabletop. And this was it, dude. It totally hooked me up. And as we all know, man, Harbor Freight sells cheap tools, right? But there's some things, dude. I feel like if you can't mess it up too bad if it's solid metal construction. I mean, am I right about that? Like, because that's my thought. If you're talking about something that's solid metal, there's no motors, no anything, no nothing like that. you can't mess it up that bad, right? Like it's the same thing for years. I had just Harbor Freight pipe wrenches. Now they're heavy, but they always worked, man. Like I never had a problem with them. Um, and then of course you upgrade, and once you get money, and you're like, oh, that's a little bit nicer of a tool, and you get this and you get that. But for a long time, man, like if you can't afford anything else, or you're not looking to spend that kind of money because you're not going to use it all the time, well then, like that's what it is. But this tabletop vise, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it, man. I take it outside. I'll leave it in here. I probably put it out in the shop too at some point, and just to have it to where it's hooked up. I say shop, I mean my little one-car garage. I don't have a shop. At this point, I feel like I'm never going to have a shop, man, unless I move out of the state. It's sad. I mean, here's a question. Is the housing market insane everywhere? Where all you guys are right now, where everybody is, can you please tell me if the housing market is just going and going crazy? Because I feel like it's everywhere. It blows my mind. Yeah, Chris said, yep. Yeah. It's wild, dude. It's so wild. Like around here is nuts. It's nuts. Things aren't staying on the market for longer than a week. Like I found a cool place the other day. I mean, and this is just me window shopping, right? I'm not looking to, I can't afford to move anywhere. But just looking, I'm like, well, a couple 1,000 square foot home on, I think it was maybe a couple acres with a shop, and it was like $1 million, and it sold in like a day. Right? And you're going, what? Yeah, dude, I keep getting letters in the mail, dude. Mews and spews. Now I don't build as well. There for a while I was doing some new construction plumbing. I have a friend around here that once in a while I totally will go and work with him. Like if he needs a hand, or there's been times where if I needed some cash, then I could just call him up, and he's always willing. He's the guy that bought my business. So I've introduced him some contractors and stuff, but he's always willing to just take me on as a apprentice. Right? Like, oh, you're the best apprentice, dude. It's so good. And it's always fun to work with him. That part, like outside of that, I really try not to build too much. I don't build anything anymore, really. I work for an airplane manufacturer now. I do facility maintenance for them, and I really just started YouTube as a second job so my wife could stay home with my kids. Like that's kind of what I do. So if I do something for somebody, if you're seeing a video out there, it's just because I'm helping somebody out and I think the content's good and I'm hooking it up, right? Like my neighbor, it's a neighborly thing. I mean, it's a lot of time and it's a big job that I help these guys with. But look, man, I know them. Like I know that you have to know that, and this is one part that kills me about plumbing sometimes, right? I mean, there's times when obviously when somebody comes over to your house and you have this thing in mind, you're doing a remodel, you've prepped, you prepared, you're going to spend money, right? But it's times like this where you get into it and it's a big plumbing job, having to rip out part of a main stack and redo that. It can be a bear. And some people can't just afford that. Like, I don't know who can afford a couple grand right off the top of their head in one day, right? Like all of a sudden, like, boom, here's $1,000, here's $2,000, right? Like your water heater goes out, right? I mean, some people have contingency plans for that stuff, but there are times when people don't, right? Or you need more bigger work, or you open up a wall and you see this crazy, and now all of a sudden the job just went from a $500 job to a crazy bigger job. Well, sometimes if people have scenarios like that, well, then I'm happy to step in if I know the person. I'm typically not going to do it outside of my little circle, right? And I'm not running out looking for work by no means. Um, yeah, it's funny that I feel like my contact list and my phone is not very long, but it constantly is rolling. Let's see what we got here. Isaiah, dude, I'm sure you keep getting letters, dude. We get letters, bro. Like I've heard Denver's been pretty good. Well, a couple of our friends just moved from Denver to Vermont, and yeah, those guys they did well, man. They did very well selling their house. It's a good time, man. I mean, if you are selling and you're moving, it's a good time for that. Not there. Oh, what up, Jared? How you doing, bro? Um, yeah, man, we're doing good, dude. Not that's so that's an interesting thing, man. So North Carolina is still just pretty chill, man, kicking it. I'd love to move. There's some parts I'd love to move out there. It's just, you know, I mean, my mom lives out on the East Coast and like that, and some of my family lives up there, and that would be awesome, dude. But I mean, a lot of our family lives out in the West as well, and so it's just hard. I don't know, it's hard. And then we love where we're at, man. I don't know if any of you guys ever been up to the Pacific Northwest? Um, it's nice. Like I don't really like to squint so much, right? And so there's a lot of overcast and um I like that. I like overcast. I mean, we get some awesome sunny days. It's really nice. I like big trees. Um I love the mountains and I it's so hard to think about leaving this area. That's it, man. I mean, cuz really I can drive 10 minutes and I'm in this crazy wooded mountainous area that it just kind of looks like something out of an outside magazine, right? It's awesome. Still kicking it in Missouri. I like it, dude. Show me state. That's born in Columbia right here. This guy. Um, Still got some family land there. You know, my mom, my brother, and I, we talk about doing something with it from time to time, but man, I don't know, dude. It's so hot there in the summer for me, dude. I am such a wuss when it comes to when it comes to heat, dude. I My wife says I turn into a toddler, and she is 100% correct. I do. I don't even know how I survived 7 years in Arizona, like living in Phoenix. And then from there, I went to one of the hottest parts of Afghanistan for a year. And man, after that, I said no more, dude. And I went to Antarctica and got away from all that heat. And then I moved up here and I love it. Like, really, it's nice. It doesn't really get too hot here. You might get 1 or 2 days where it's like unbearable, but we got AC now. So those days are over. I can just hide out. Oh, dude, yeah, bro. I mean, I remember in the summer, just you'd shower and you'd walk out, and it's like it just never made a difference. You were just swampy all over again, dude. I love it, and it's funny, like my family reunion is always in the summer. I'm like, man, come on, can we have it in the springtime once, please? Pretty please. That's it, dude. Yeah. Other than that, man, I love Missouri, dude. I mean, I got so many fond memories of floating down the river and fishing trips and gigging and hunting and oh man, baling hay, bucking hay, riding a tractor, cows and rolling green hills. Yeah, it's nice, man. Oh, let's see what else we got. Oh yes, Isaiah summer cooking in Cali, dude. And I like Cali too, man. We went to San Diego a couple years ago for Christmas, and I loved that, dude. It was so nice. It was like 70 and kind of breezy, and the sun would come out once in a while, and I loved it. That was my meow, dude. Oh yeah, you live in Joplin, dude. Awesome. Oh, dude. Yeah. Well, it's because I mean, you live in Joplin. I lived just down the road, kind of a little bit outside of Fort Leonard Wood, right? So right off of that, I think is, is that the 70? No, the 44. Oh, dude, I don't remember. I think it's 44, isn't it? Something, but it's kind of like in between Fort Leonard Wood and Lake of the Ozarks, dude. Yeah, it is the I-44. Yeah, dude. Oh man, there's so many things there, dude. Um, a cool, fun thing. I don't know if it's still there. Somebody will have to tell me. Maybe my mom knows. She's in here if it's still there. But my uncle Bill, my great uncle Bill, um, it's right off the 44 too, because he lived right on the side of the 44, like right off one of the access roads. But he had built a church with his hands, all him, hooked it up on the side of this hill, and it kind of, I guess it was kind of domish. It was very cool to see it when it was all said and done. He was a good artist too, and he had painted an awesome mural in there. Just fun. It was always fun to go to that dude's house because he was always building something, doing something cool. And I just remember actually when I took the old truck, I still haven't named it yet because I haven't talked to my friends' kids. So that was the other thing about naming the truck. I really want to talk to my friends' kids and kind of get their opinion on what they think the truck should be named. I did like Cherry Bomb. Somebody came up with that, and I thought that would be good, but I wanted them to know. Oh yeah, Marshfield. Yeah, I know that area. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it is. It was in Jerome. Yeah, my mom, Jerome. Yeah, paint the mural of mountains and yeah, dude. He it is so much. I don't know. There's so much fun. Like, I mean, there's just a lot of family history there too, right? And growing up in that area, it's so I don't know. I've been digging it, man. Oh, Sandy, I am so glad that I did not get out of here. All right, because for a while it was just me and Chris, a plague of badgers that are hanging out. So I'm glad that some of you showed up to this party. How you doing, Sandy? um, yeah, I don't know. So I don't. I'll keep an eye out for it. Oh yeah, dude, you should. Like, really, it's so if you're traveling north, going to St. Louis, it's going to be on the left hand side, and it's kind of up on the hill, and it's just. I think it's just before or maybe it's just right after the Jerome exit. So you would get off that there's an exit ramp right there, and then just a little bit after that, dude. But it's cool. I would think that it's still there. I would think that whoever bought that place didn't tear it down. I wouldn't have. I mean, because it really is just a cool building. I mean, you could have made a shop out of it. It almost looked like, I don't know, man. In some ways, like one of those little houses from Tatooine, dude, on Star Wars. it's it's just a very interesting, like Adobe style place. And then he had a crazy interesting neighbor that had this sign that said yoga anytime. And man, one of the most interesting guys you'd ever sit and chat with. Right. And so I'm one of those dudes that if I find something interesting about, so I can sit there and I can talk with somebody for hours, man. And it just, and if you find somebody like that, well, then they'll sit there and they'll talk to you, dude. If you're the type of person that's going to listen, they'll talk to you forever. And that dude was totally that way. He would talk to me, and I'm the kind of person that listens. And I just want to suck it up, man, because when you're that interesting, like it's that much fun to me. I love it. You looking to buy some more land? Yeah, dude. Well, I would love to buy some land. Just just not there. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. It's nice, dude. Really, like the land we have there is awesome. I mean, I'm my brother and I, we both, I don't know that we'd ever sell it. I don't think my uncle's ever going to sell his. And, we'd probably just keep passing it down generation, generation. And hopefully at some point, somebody will do something with it. It's nice, it's where you grew up. It's home. It's good. And I love visiting. I mean, I don't get out there much, but I sure do like it. At some point, I was trying to make it for this year's family reunion. I don't think so. I think next year is what's going to end up being, which would be awesome. Oh, it is actually. So right now it's in a family trust. It's good that you say that, dude. So my mom actually has it in a family trust with my brother and I. Um, and I think it just stay that way, like, right. And then once that rolls, I'll do it for one with my kids, and however that rolls, man, maybe at some point they want to do something with it. And maybe we do, maybe, you never know. Time rolls. And I love going there. I could hang out Lake of the Ozarks all the time, dude. It's definitely a good destination. We've had some good family times up there. So I don't know. Let's see what else is rocking, man. Like that job, like, I don't know. it's all that's been on my mind for the last couple of days. I think it's just because I'm beat down, I'm sore, my hands are beat up. I have this little 2-pound sledgehammer, and I kept trying to chisel in between these two pipes to like hit this other piece of brass and break it apart, right? You'll see in this video coming out, but I kept smacking my hand, or I'd do something. I'm like, oh man. And when you're working on your knees and you're bent over and you're just, you know how that rolls. You're just tired of being in that position. And my legs have been sore for 2 days at this point. I don't know. I can't fathom doing a lot at this point still. Like, oh man, I'm drained. I don't know what else. Like, Josh sent me the name of a guy to help me out. Maybe start getting some more hats hooked up. So maybe I'll get some hats at first and just have a couple different style of hats for the channel. So I might start working on that. I just need to get taxes and all that stuff figured out and situated, and say we're trying to get out on the boat this weekend, hopefully. I haven't talked to my wife about it, so if she's listening, maybe we'll get out on the boat this weekend. I don't know, man. There's always work to be done. Well, it's been almost an hour. I can't even believe it. I thank you guys. Really, I'm glad more peeps showed up, dude. I really always enjoy this. I hope at some point I could do some more giveaways. I haven't had anything sponsor wise or any of that rolling in a little while. Of course, I haven't really pursued any of it either. I just trying to do my own thing and getting how-to videos hooked up and put out. So I got a couple tool reviews coming out soon, and yeah, I just hope that we can continue to help people as it comes along. And yeah, if everybody could hit that like button on the way out, like, that would be awesome. I'm not 100% sure what it does. I know that it helps with the algorithm. I'm still learning all these things. It's so much to learn, right? I watched like YouTube videos that YouTube puts out just to see what's going on and how it supposedly helps, but reality, I don't really know. But I hope everybody has a good week. There will be a video out on Thursday. As I say, that was a 7-hour job. I probably didn't record for only an hour of it. So I got a lot of video to go through. A lot of it's going to be me tinking on things. So I'm going to chop through a lot of that, and I'll just show you a lot of the meat and potatoes. I feel like there's going to be a few videos come out of this, at least I hope, because really it was a lot of effort, and I'm we'll just see what we can do. I think that there is good content because you're dealing with a lot of old cast iron pipe, trying to get copper or trying to get some other fitting out of that, and then having to put something back in, like going from cast iron to plastic. Well, that's a whole nother hard process, right? Like trying to put a what they call a donut gasket in there and pounding on that stuff. It's kind of insane. Um, Sandy, how the truck? The truck is no. That's okay. Don't yeah. The truck is going. It's still running, which I'm very excited about. I started up the other day, and it needs to. I need to get the oil and stuff changed. I feel bad because I just haven't. I haven't had time, and I've wanted to use it, but I haven't really needed to so far. So I'm like, oh well, I can just hold off on that a little bit more. Hold off, but anymore I can't. So I think instead of me shooting videos, changing out the fluids and all that stuff, I think for now I'm just going to take it up the road, get it hooked up, and then I will just maybe shoot a video of me driving it around and kicking it. I have a couple things that I'm going to do for my mechanic where we like to swap work. So, he'll have me look at something for him and then I'll just take something up. So I was thinking about taking the truck up to him and letting him see what was up with that wire. Maybe that was a bad wire, or I don't know. Just have him look over it, see if it needs a tune up, or what he thinks how it's running. So just because he's a much better mechanic than me, I don't mind showing different things, and I plan on fixing it up right. I plan on putting a new seat cover on it. I plan on changing out some decals. I plan on doing some other fun things with it. But when it comes to really the mechanics of it, I just want to make sure it's running sound, and he's my man when it comes to that stuff. And you are correct. There is never, ever enough time in the day. It's not, especially when you want to hang out with your kids, man. Like I was going to put out a video last night and I was going to sit down and do some editing, and Logan wanted to put together a puzzle. And so I'm like, I'm just going to put together a puzzle. Like, I feel like I'm never going to be wrong if I choose my kids over doing something else. Right. That's just the way I look at it. I look at a lot of it. I mean, they're the reason why I'm doing this. And I'm doing this so my wife can hang out with my kids, so I can hang out with my kids a little bit more. And if, this or work or anything else kind of stands in the way of that, well, then I just kind of got to push that stuff aside and hang out with the kids. That's it. It's just fun. My wife had some older, I feel like I don't know if they're from the 80s or the 90s. I think they might be from the 80s. She had a couple of old school, like one Looney Tunes puzzle and one Disney puzzle. And so they're just awesome old school puzzles that have been really fun. Yeah, no, I am really, so Sandy just said, cherish those times. And I really am. And I'm trying to, right. I just want to just be there and just still soak it all in. And I'm still waiting for Mabel to really talk. I feel like she's just like at this point being stubborn about it. All right. Cause I think Logan was already talking by this point, but Mabel, she still grunts and growls a lot. It's like, all right, like her presence is known. That's for sure. I think that's like her MO. That's good. Yeah, and Plague. I agree. You guys, I love it. I mean, that's it, right? It's the family. I mean, my family is everything. This is all I've ever wanted, right? I mean, I've done so many things in my life before I met my wife, and I just traveled everywhere and did all these other cool things. And anymore, like none of that appeals to me. Like, I mean, there's always appeal, right? There's always that, oh, like that trip's on sale. I'd love to go there. I'd love to check this out. But like, look, I'm not going to put my kids in some crazy situation. I'm not going to, do anything crazy. I just want to hang out with my family. That's it. I want to see what my kids are up to. And sure, sometimes they drive me batty, but I think that's part of it too. I laugh more than I'm ever mad. So that's always awesome. Oh, Emery, what up, dude? How you doing? It's always good. I always love seeing your name come across that screen, dude. I do. You're awesome. My second one, Sandy said my second was delayed in speech because his brother spoke for him. He definitely does that for her too. That's not what she wants, Dad. That's what she wants. She wants that chocolate chip cookie, Dad. Oh gosh, you're probably right. Yeah, you just don't have to say it. Oh, nice. You doing a little morel hunting? Is it that time of the year already? Oh gosh. Yeah, man. You know what's funny? I'm not a big mushroom person. I'm not. But back home, Missouri, obviously big. That's Midwest, big morel time. And I'm assuming because my friend Scott, he mushroom hunts around here too. Big. If I had some morels, I would happily fry those bad boys up and eat them, dude. I really only kind of like mushrooms in certain settings and in certain dishes. It's not one of my things. I'm not going to put it on pizza. I'm not going to do a lot of things. But man, I could go for a couple of those friggin' battered up and pan fried morels right about now. Sounds great. About 50 blacks. Oh, awesome, dude. Well, that sounds like a good hunt then. Cool. Cool. So, I don't know. Outside of that, man. Oh, Emery, you have a channel? Did I not know this? Dude, well, that's awesome. I will happily, I love. Cool. Cool. No, dude. I will go find your channel right after this and I will go subscribe. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And I love the Ventrac. I think it's a cool thing. That was the one little tractor that I wanted to drive when I was at Josh's house. So the next time that I make it out to the Stony Ridge, man, we got this hooked up. I would love to have. I just don't have the space, or I don't have the need for one of those little bad boys. But man, it seems like that's a tractor that will do it all, dude. Well, that is too cool, dude. I am certainly going to look you up right after this. I do. I always appreciate your comments. You're always awesome. I appreciate everybody in here. I love it, man. I think that anybody that's taking the time to like want to learn something else or to help teach me something, and look at my screw ups and hang out with me while we're doing this. I appreciate it all. I really do. I just feel humbled, and I feel humbled that we just keep growing, right? And it's fun, and I see it helping people, and I do enjoy that. Ooh, yeah, dude. Wow. 25K. Well, I don't know, dude. I don't think anything I own my wife's car is probably the closest thing to 25K that we own. But yeah, I don't know, man. I have a hard time. Like, I guess you could say I'm a little bit of a tightwad. I have a hard time opening my pocketbook up for that kind of cheddar, man. Whew. Yeah. I don't know. I guess if I was going to use it, it's a different story, right? Like that's totally different. So yeah, if I had a use and I had a need, I absolutely, that would be one. Like I've just seen it. It just looks like a little beast, man. It looks like a little stubby beast. And that's when I seen it. Josh is like I said, I just want to drive it. So at some point, Josh and I have talked about it. Maybe this fall, maybe I go back out to the Stony Ridge and kick it. Um, I don't know. He's busier. He's so much busier than me, man. Every time I think I'm busy, I talk to him and I'm going, oh my gosh. I, yeah. We got ours for a large yard, steep hills, 7 acres. Oh yeah, dude. 200-acre farm. Dude, 1,400 hours though. That's good, dude. You put some time on that bad boy. That's awesome. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, I've been going at this for a little while and I got to go cook some dinner. Like I said, the wife, the kids, everybody's out at the botanical gardens getting some pictures taken. It'd be pretty fun. We have a friend, this photographer, that said she needed some, she was asking for volunteers, and my wife said, oh yeah, we'll hook the kids up. You're looking for some little models, and they're happy to volunteer usually. That's good, dude. Nothing newer than an '04. I like that too. John wants to get a camper and said why, so he can sit in the driveway. Dude, uh, Sandy, he's that's it's a hard thing, man. That's why it took me so long to get the boat too, right? That is 100% true, because I've told my wife, like, I think it's going to set for so long, like I got to actually get out and use it, and that's what it is. And I like that I have a guy at work that, we have a friend at work, that dude fishes at least 4 days a week, if not more. That dude's always got his boat out, and he lives right down the street from me. So to go out to the same lake that he's on for a little bit, and it would be great. It really would be nice to just get out there and take Logan, take the kids. Once Mabel gets a life jacket, I don't know. She might be a little too crazy for a boat right now. She doesn't even like to sit in the car for longer than 15 minutes. So, I mean, who knows? But I think it'd be fun. We might be fetching her out of the water a lot. And I like to have nothing newer than no for no one wants your you're right. I don't know if that was for me. No one wants your picture, Shaggy. It's so true. Oh yeah. I'm hoping I get boat fever, Sandy. So, I really hope so. Nobody does want my picture, dude. Honestly, she asked me if I wanted to go. I'm like, nah, I don't think I want to go. I I need a haircut. I think Logan needs a haircut too, but that's all right. At one time, we had over 60 Olivers. Oh, wait, what's an Oliver? Am I wrong thinking that that's what is it? Is that some kind? Is that some kind of a boat? Oh, heck. 60 tractors? Holy cannoli, dude. You're a tractor man. Wow. All right. All right. Well, I'm excited. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna check out your channel, dude. It's very nice to see all you guys. Sandy, update, Tubrella. It's coming out. I've been so slacking on this video. But it is coming out. I just had a couple other things I wanted to do with this thing. I was trying some stuff out with it the other day, and my wife actually complained that I have that in my office right now. It's coming out. Dude, I was way off too, bro. I was thinking I was thinking boats, dude. He said it's tractors. Oh, this is awesome, dude. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to come check out your channel too, dude. That's awesome. Tractor channel. I'm really I'm gonna be loving this. Wow. An 1858 model that has 350 hours on it. Holy, holy moly, dude. I remember my great grandpa's tractor, dude. And I remember rolling across the field with him from time to time, and that bad boy was old. I remember being old and just kind of hard to start. And I mean, but he'd always get out there and he just knew every little thing to do to get it to fire up. And then boom, we'd be off across the field to do something. Um, yeah. Hey mom, it's great to see you too. I love you. I love you. I appreciate everybody's um comments. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. Thank you very much. And you know what? Next video should be out Wednesday. Fingers crossed. Take care, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye. Oh my gosh. And